Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about books I recommend for the Thought Daughter. Now, the Thought Daughter, I think where I first saw it was on TikTok, and this was months ago, like a little before summer had started. I kept seeing TikToks of people, recommending Thought Daughter books, and at first, I ate those videos up. I loved them. And then eventually I thought maybe I have a few books that I haven't really been mentioned yet. So I just kind of wanted to share a few. I have my tea here because it's already 10 p.m. at night and it's so cold. And we're gonna relax and we're gonna talk about books together. Okay. So first, let's start out with a definition. Okay, so according to Google, the Thought Daughter is a term used to describe young women who are coming of age in a post-pandemic world and may feel misunderstood or socially isolated and may overanalyze every situation. Some characteristics of a Thought Daughter include a need to be understood, a tendency to gravitate towards books, music, poetry, and movies, a desire to find people who truly understand them, and a benefit from talking to their parents, sisters, or best friend, especially if they can validate their emotions. Okay, so with that being said, I wanted to recommend 5 books that I think would be perfect for the Thought Daughter. So here are my books right here, and then one of my books I do have on my iPad because I don't have the physical copy, which, if I'm being honest, if we're trying to be a bit more cautious with consuming, overconsumption, all that stuff that's been being talked about for a while now, I personally think that we should bring back going to the library and checking out books again. I know there are some people that still do that, but I feel like it's so unheard of. I mean, even like myself, I for a while was in the bad habit of wanting a book and right away going to Amazon to order it. And I think one thing that has also helped me not do that anymore is my bookshelf is literally packed. There's no more room on there. So I can't add any more books to my library for now until I get more space. But yeah, I think we need to go back to the library. We really need to go back to checking out books. Another thing is audiobooks. I've been listening to audiobooks. I just finished a book today because I was listening to it at work and I finished it. Audiobooks, I think they're so helpful. I think I talked about this on my channel before, but I remember when I was recommended this book, I didn't really think I was gonna like it because I was like, I'm not really into like memoir style books, but I read this one and I fell in love with it. And there's a movie, Brie Larson plays the main girl. This book is basically about a young girl who talks about the struggles that her family faces growing up, and then as she's getting older, she's kind of seeing that her parents aren't as good as people as she thought that they were, and she kind of goes through that internal struggle of like, well, they're my parents, but at the same time she knows that if she wants to grow in life, she has to let go of those things that are holding her back. Oh my gosh, this one's really good. Okay, next book is another one I've talked about on my channel before, but this is a book of personal essays, and that is So Sad Today by Melissa Broder. So just gonna read the back real quick. In this darkly funny and brutally honest collection of essays, Melissa Broder grapples with sex, death, love, low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, addiction, and the drama of waiting for the universe to text you back. She illuminates with insights as sharp as her humor and in prose that is both her own hilarious obsessions with a strong dose of existential dread, diving deeper into the psyche that made her a phenomenon as the dangerously irreverent at So Sad Today. So the funny thing is I actually found out about this book because I was following the account on Twitter called So Sad Today. And then I saw that she released a book titled So Sad Today. And I was like, I literally have to read that. And I remember I got this book at the library first. And then I loved it so much that I bought it. So that's So Sad Today. It's so funny. It's not for everyone. I will say it's not for everyone because there are some weird parts where you're like, oh, that's kind of strange. But I think that's what makes it so likable. And she does have more books. I've been meaning to read them, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, that is So Sad Today. 10 out of 10. Next on the list is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This book I had to read for one of my classes when I was doing my undergrad. And man, did I want to bawl my eyes out in some scenes. Most scenes in this book are going to make you cry. And the thing about this book is, if I didn't take this, and I'm being super honest, if I didn't take this in one of my college courses, I don't think I would have fully understood the full meaning of this book, because this book is so incredibly complex. And I think, like, of course the message is clear in your face, but to really get deeper into it, I'm so glad I read it in a class, because my professor really helped us understand those difficult parts in the book where you're like, this doesn't really make sense, but it's so beautifully written. And I had to like write an essay and I included this book in it. It's just a good book. It's really good. I will say that it's very heavy, so read with caution. Anything really by Toni Morrison is really heavy, but this, so good. I mean, look at all my little tabs that I've made, all my annotations and marks. That's how you know I've read this for a class. Okay, next is another book by Toni Morrison, because I love her so much, and that is Beloved. Now, Beloved, I did not have to read for a class. I read this one for fun. I actually read some of it, and then the rest of it I finished as an audiobook. This one, similar to The Bluest Eye, they don't really follow the same storyline, but it's still very heavy, and there were some parts where I cried. It's gonna break your heart. It's really gonna break your heart, but this book is so good. I'm telling you, Toni Morrison, phenomenal writer. She's just amazing. Really knows how to punch you in the face with her words. But yeah, this one is just so good. It delves into this woman and dealing with, the trauma of losing her children due to, her being a slave and her escaping and the journey she had to go through. It's so good. It's anything by Toni Morrison, I'm saying, is so good. So that is Beloved. Okay, next on the list is something I will say, I admit I've not finished it yet because I'm listening to the audiobook, but I'm telling you, this book is it's so good so far. It's this one right here. It's called Ain't I a Woman? Black Women and Feminism. This is by Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks is an amazing writer. She was an activist as well. She was a professor. That woman has done everything. Rest in peace, Bell Hooks. I had to read one of her essays earlier for my class, earlier in the semester. And let me just tell you, reading one essay by her made me want to read more for work, because she's such a good writer and she's so smart and intelligent in the way that she speaks. Like, this woman knows her stuff. She's done her research. She knows her stuff. And that's literally what this book is about. You could really tell that she's really passionate about women and their rights. And not only, the book really goes into talking about Black women and how they were not really included when it comes to the feminist movement, because the feminist movement really started for white women. It didn't really include Black women and their struggles. So this book really goes into that, and I really want to learn more about that, and I'm educating myself more, and this book is perfect for that. And I will say, like, I'm literally like in the first chapter, but the introduction and the beginning of the first chapter has already like broken my heart. There's just a lot of heavy content, and again, I'm giving a warning for that, but unfortunately it's history, it's stuff that has really happened. That's the last book. I haven't finished it yet, so once I finish it, I will maybe talk about it more in another video. But those are my books for the Thought Darter. I hope you enjoyed. If there's any books that you recommend, please comment them. I'd love to know. I have like a long list, a super long TBR list, and my goal for the next year, because 2024 is coming to an end soon, my goal for 2025 is to read from my TBR list. Like, I need to take a pause from adding stuff and just slowly like go down the list and mark books that I've been wanting to read, because there are a few. There's a lot that I've been wanting to read and I just haven't. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you think. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful night, and drink your warm tea in bed tonight, and have a good day. Take care of yourself. Have a good night.